Hello, everybody. I'm John DeBenedictis, Executive Director for National Soccer Coaches Association of Canada, and we're here for another session of Behind the Bench. And today, my guests are AC Lang and Hollie Babut, or Babut.
You got it, Babut, yeah.
Babut, and we're talking about growing the women's game. So just before we get started, let me just tell you a little bit about association. National Soccer Coaches Association is membership-based organization, and we're all run by volunteers. So we're obviously hoping that we get as many members as possible so that we can continue to offer additional education opportunities for all the coaches. Pretty excited that since we started our Behind the Bench series about just about almost 10 months ago, we've had coaches from 27 different countries, or managers, as they say in some countries, register for our sessions. So this was actually one of the dreams of our late president, Tony Waiters, to try and help coaching education, additional coaching education above and beyond all the licenses, not just to Canadian coaches, but to coaches around the world, and to showcase some of the coaches we have here in Canada. And as you know, Canada, we produce some pretty good players all of a sudden. Some are top 10 in men, and in the women, we've got the #1 leading goal scorer of all time from Canada. So I think we have something that we'd like to offer to the rest of the world. And we've got AC Lang here, and I'll just tell you a little bit about her. AC, I used to coach her brother, Jan, and when she's the younger sister to Jan, and when we'd have a training session, AC would always be in the background, and we'd see her kicking a ball around, and then at the end we'd have her join in some of our scrimmage. So she was a few years younger, but you could tell the passion from AC right from the get-go. I remember watching her on the side and saying, "Wow, she just loves soccer," and she's going to tell us a little bit about that in a minute. And Hollie, I just got a chance to meet you with the Pickering Soccer Club. And she's done a phenomenal job with Pickering, in charge of Grassroots. So AC, let's start with you. Give us a bit more about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, John, for the introduction. And yeah, guilty as charged. Definitely always had that passion for the game, as you were able to see, definitely from a young age. But yeah, I was born in Germany. We moved here when I was about 7. I went back and forth a few times, so I had a little bit of experience in both the German and the Canadian soccer system, which is cool to always contrast and compare the different experiences. I went to the University of Guelph for my undergraduate degree, and I played there for 4 years. I was the captain for 3 years there. I completed my degree in applied human nutrition. When I finished, I had about a year or two gap between my master's and my undergrad, so I worked for the Guelph Soccer Club during that time, which is when I got introduced to a few really key role models in my life who helped to inspire me to try to develop the women's game. So that was influential for sure. And over the past few years, I've been involved with League One now, first with North Miss and now with Guelph Union. So getting into coaching there a little bit as well. So hope that gives a little bit more background to why I'm involved in the game.
Fantastic. And Hollie, give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, John. Like you said, I am the Grassroots Director at Pickering Football Club. Started my coaching journey a few years ago, but obviously the passion, like all of us, it stems from playing. So grew up playing in Durham region until I went on to play university in Iowa in the States. Got my degree in health science there. And then from there, my coach challenged me to continue on my coaching and also playing pathway, which pushed me to Norway to play there for a short stint. Unfortunately, I had troubles with my visa, so I wasn't there too long. But great experience all in all to just experience something different than the Canadian and the American system. So after that, I came home from Norway. I really started on my coaching pathway. I'm really thankful for a lot of great mentors, both in the playing and the coaching aspect, who pushed me to the coaching world that I'm in today. And I've met some really great people along the way, like AC and John yourself. So really excited to have this conversation about the importance of growing women in football.
Great. So we're gonna just backtrack. I'm gonna share my screen for a second. And I don't know if you guys can see it. You know, you guys see my screen at this point?
Yep.
All right, so growing the women's game is our topic. And so AC, she had, I saw an article in the Toronto Star newspaper, Canada's top newspaper, biggest newspaper in Toronto. And the Toronto Star had a big article about what AC was doing and trying to get more females involved in coaching. And, you know, over the years, you know, this is a course that I
You muted yourself, John.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. I think I muted myself. So there was a course that I did in Florida. And this one here was another one in Toronto, as I believe a C or, and you'll take a look. So in this one in Florida, there were about 300 coaches, different national, advanced national, premier. And this is done by the United Soccer Coaches or the NSCAC. And of all the coaches, there's about, I'm guessing 12 to 15% were female. The rest were male coaches. This is another course. It was pre-B license. And as you can see, there's not one female coach in this group. This is a course we did in Toronto with Tony Waiters, did a license course for goalkeeping. And you'll see that there are very few females in here. I think we're at 5%. Actually, your brother's in this picture, AC, if you look closely. And then we had our own clinic here, our first convention last year. This is the assistant coach from Portugal. And in his session, out of over 50 coaches, I think we had about 4 or 5 females. So not a lot of females. But I did notice something here in, we did this course at Crescent School. We brought in the state director for coaching California by the name of Carl Dawazian. And his expertise was in grassroots and very geared to younger children, and he's very psychological in some of the things he presented. And we targeted a lot of teachers who also coach in elementary school. And we found that there a lot more females came to this course, almost 33%. So just start with you, AC, in your mission here with starting from that article and getting more females in the game.
Sure, yeah, I'd love to touch on what we've done over the past few months with the Elevate campaign. First though, John, if I could start with a few maybe behavioral expectations for this webinar. I know that this topic of women's advancement is sometimes a little bit touchy. People feel nervous saying the wrong thing. And I just want to put everyone at ease that if we can agree on 2 main things, that this conversation is going to go super well and everyone's going to have a good time. The first and foremost is for me that girls and women belong in sport. That's a non-negotiable for me. And then the second one being that girls and women bring value to the sports system. So as long as we can agree on these 2, core beliefs, I think let's just go forward and have a good conversation. And that's to everyone who's attending this webinar today who might be asking questions, etc. So just want to start with that. But to touch on the Elevate campaign, so it all kind of started when Carmelina started the League One Players Advisory Group back, I think it was late 2019. And that was a really powerful move that she did because it brought all of these women together from across the league who generally hadn't been in the kind of space and given the kind of voice to really talk about what their priorities are. So that was a really powerful move by Carm, the commissioner at the time. And when it became apparent that throughout 2020 we wouldn't really be able to see the field, we kind of shifted our focus to hopefully making an impact off of the field. So our first priority on that goal was getting more women coaching, because we all kind of discussed that not many of us had women coaches growing up, and that's really an unfortunate statistics that we're continuing to live every day. I think that probably still holds true for many girls playing the game today. So with that, our goal in mind of hoping to get more females involved, we wanted to create a fundraiser to raise money to fund 5 C licenses for female coaches within the league, which, I mean, that's not a huge goal, and five licenses doesn't necessarily change the whole system, but we just wanted to kind of set a priority for ourselves as a group. So we launched the campaign, I think it was in November. So basically we were selling posters of Kadisha Buchanan and Jessie Fleming. So there was a kind of a dual purpose there to get more role models up in girls' rooms, posters of role models, and to hopefully also get more role models as female coaches. So we kicked that off in November, and we hit our goal by I think mid-December is when we hit it. And part of that as well was Carm came through for us with her legacy grant that she received from the Canadian Olympic Committee. So
thank you for watching this short preview video from the National Soccer Coaches Association of Canada. To see the full video, plus have access to hundreds of other coaching videos, blogs, webinars, and podcasts, plus free and discounted coach education courses and other soccer merchandise, plus to have exclusive access to register for all future NSCAC conventions, both live and online, click on the link below to become a member of the NSCAC today. Also, please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as your continued support allows us to continue to provide coach education and coach development resources to soccer coaches across Canada and worldwide. Thank you again for your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you at future NSCAC events.